enough information in the internet as well, right? But you can use the internet for information, but make sure your sources are quite legitimate. For example, if you have your website, if you have a particular university, maybe Oxford, Cambridge, attached to the URL, that will be fine. And academic, if you have academic in it, that's fine. Scholarly article, scholarly, word scholarly, that's also fine. If it's Wikipedia, it might not be fine, because you can edit it and there is no guarantee that it's valid. So go for these sites promoted by certain universities and academic and scholarly sites. They'll give you enough information about these things, right? So please use the internet, but be wise in using the internet, okay? Don't use everything that is there. Right, so within this, very roughly, Sri Lankan English writing by women in this context, where will you place Anne Ranasinghe? Because she's not exactly originally from Sri Lanka. Where will you place her? And why am I so bothered about talking of these authors also? I've already talked about this in my earlier section. Your mindset, your personal ideologies, your background, your experiences will be reflected in your works. You can understand the work better if you know the author better. That's one way of viewing it. But then later, I don't want to confuse you right now, then there are other theorists who would say that's not the case, the author is dead. Death of the author by Roland Barthes, you don't have to go into that. But I'm just telling you that there are other ways of looking at this relationship between the reader and the text and the author. There are others who would say no, it's all to do with the reader. You really don't have to know the author. The author is just a position. You don't have to know anything about that person. But for A-levels, I think that argument is out. For A-levels, the argument is in where you have to know something about the subject position of the author to understand better, with the inverted commas, the text that they write. So that's why I'm bothered about saying something about the author right now, okay? And to posit them in a particular reality, a particular setting. So for you, how do you think Anne Ranasinghe belongs in this entire context that I was talking of all this time? I was talking about Sri Lanka and Sri Lankan writers. And Ranasinghe is also a Sri Lankan writer of English as a woman. Where will she figure in this context? Because she's not originally from here. What is Sri Lankan about her? Why is she part of that group? So you think marriage is important just to be part of that group? Or are there any other things? In terms of her works, marriage is there, definitely, that's true. But for her to be accepted as a Sri Lankan writer?
She lived during the time where Sri Lanka, especially during the jail things.
Okay, she lived in Sri Lanka during a particular violent time where she actually made use of those as subject matter. Yes, good. And then she lived in Sri Lanka and she wrote about Sri Lanka. That's also true. But will that make her work Sri Lankan? What makes her work Sri Lankan for you? Or have you never thought of this? You just, read these things under the title Sri Lankan writing. But you never think about why they are Sri Lankan. What's to be Sri Lankan? To wear the red dye hat and what? Tell me. Speak into the culture, okay. You're part of that culture. Right. What else? Think from the moment that you stop thinking. Because I can see that you stopped thinking from somewhere down the line. So anyway, just a little bit, I'll rush about Anne Ranasinghe. So the year in which these people are born and the year in which they actually start writing would be quite important to understand the gist of their works. Because say for example, she was born in around 1925. What happened during that time in the world or in that particular setting in which she was born? And what happened during the time she started writing as a writer on its own terms? That understanding is important for you to actually get at her subject matter and the resonances within the subject matter, right? So I don't want to go into her full name and all that, but I need to go into the idea of the Jew, J-E-W. How significant is this to her? Because the poets or the writers' identity is very important to understand, especially in relation to this poem, to understand the work. How does her Jewishness influence her works? Yeah? Holocaust experiences. What were they? Give me terms that can qualify her Holocaust experience. Okay. Killings, violence, oppression, loss, death. What else? What else? Alienation. Alienation comes a little bit later. What is alienation? To not belong. So Jews were legitimate. That's what Hitler said. They were illegitimate people. They were not God's people. So they were alienated, almost like aliens. Aliens in the sense, being alienated meaning not belonging to a particular place, right? You are in or you are out. The in would be the self, the out would be the other, right? You are the other, not the self, not the person in power, right? So, sense of powerlessness. All these words will give you a very good idea about the subject matter that Ayn Rand approached. So her Holocaust experience, through that you can get at all this. This is all